Welcome to the ninth week of our online learning. My beloved ninth graders, how have you been? How was your weekend? Hope you've been studying. Today we shall be continuing from where we stopped last week. Last week we started transcription, but we treated transcription from staff to solver notation. This week we shall be treating transcription from solver to staff notation. Now, at the end of this lesson, the student should be able to 1. Define transcription, 2. Give a description of a given melody. And finally, the student should be able to compose short music phrase using solfa notation and transcribe to staff notation. Now, a quick recap on that. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to define transcription, give a description of a given melody, and finally, compose a short musical phrase using solfa notation and transcribe to staff notation. So let's take a look at what a staff notation looks like. Now, this is the Nigerian national anthem on staff notation. This is the Nigerian national anthem on staff notation. If you look at it closely, you know that it's on key F major because it's having one flat at B. It's on key F major. Now, this is the staff copy of the Nigerian national anthem. Arise, O compatriots. Yes. So now let's look at the solfa copy. This is the solfa copy of the Nigerian national anthem. This is the solfa copy. Now we all know that notation simply means a system of writing music, a way of writing music. And we've already established that there are two types of notations, the staff notation and the solfa notation. Now, transcription simply means how can I convert this way of writing music to another way of writing music. Now, you've seen the staff notation and you've also seen the solfa notation. And last week we learned how to transcribe from staff notation to solfa notation. The same thing is also applicable in converting or transcribing from solfa notation to staff notation. Now, in this case, your knowledge of the clef, remember we also mentioned this last week. Your knowledge of the clef, the key, the time, and the value of notes in beats is still very important. But usually, you are given the clef, key, and time of the music. So, in an existing piece that you're supposed to transcribe from, you're going to see the clef sign there, you're going to see the key, you're going to see the time. You're also going to see every value. So it is important that you take note of all these things and know how to move it to the other form of notation. Now, this is a clear example of transcription from solfa notation to staff notation. Now, if you look at it closely, you're going to see that we are working on key B flat major. Key B flat major. It has two flats. It has two flats, one at B and the other at E. One at B and the other at E. Now, you're also going to observe that it's on a 4/4 timing. 4/4 timing. That's 4 beats, 4 crochet beats in a bar. 4 crochet beats in a bar. And you see, it started with a crochet note and another crochet note before a minim note. That's a single beat, and a double beat. Do, re, mi, so, fa, mi, re, do, ti, do. Now, if you look below it, you're going to see the staff equivalent. That means we've successfully converted the sulfur into the staff. Now, if you're converting it to the staff, this is how it's going to look like. Remember, we are working on key B flat major and 4/4 timing. That's every crochet, every bar is going to contain at least the value of 4 crochets. I'm sure we understand this. Finally, let's talk about things we need to know about transcription. Now, there are two styles of writing music, as we all know, the sulfur notation and the staff notation. Now, transcription entails changing from one style of notation, that's one style of writing music, to the other. It can be from staff notation to sulfur notation or from sulfur notation to staff notation. Now, in doing transcription, you must look out for the following. Paramountly, the key, the time, the note value, and for other things we have discussed. Now, a quick recap of what we've done. Now, the students were taught the definition of transcription and a good description of a given melody. Finally, the students were taught the composition of short melody on sulfur notation and how to transcribe it to staff notation. Now, I believe we must have answered the questions we asked ourselves at the beginning of the class. Now, if there is any question, don't fail to get back to me. Thank you. Keep staying safe.